Hello, so today we're going to have a look at the HouseEngine plugin. The other thing I wanted to say, this is a demo version and it's fully functioning. The things you can't do with it are export MIDI. Well, you can. I'm going to show you how, but you can't do it through the front end. You have a very limited amount of preset sounds, rhythms, etc. So the first thing you'll notice is quite a simple user interface, and that's actually a good thing. You can drop MIDI chord progressions here, but what I like is this ability to generate chord progressions. So you can choose 3 algorithms. The full version has 9 algorithms. So we're just going to choose a simple 2 bars with 3 or 4 chords. What we're going to do is associate the scale to E minor, because I like E minor. I'm going to lock the scale, which I did before, so it means it's always going to generate chords in E minor. And let's press the space key to see what chords we get. So straight away, that's pretty nice, but what you can do is roll the dice and see what else you get. Again. So eventually I found some chords that I like, so let's take a quick listen to them. Very nice. So just quickly, another thing you could do with chords, if you right click anywhere on the chords, you can do things like inverting up, inverting down. So for example, we've selected a chord, we want to invert that up. We can select this chord here. We can invert that down. You can move the bass an octave up. Do that for this one here. We'll move that bass an octave down so you can see that. So it's even further down. You can transpose all the chords up and down. So let's transpose all notes up a semitone, another semitone. So yes, there's a few things you could do by right clicking, which will change how your chords sound. So once we've selected the chords that we want, we just press OK. And that brings us to this area here. And what this is doing is just giving you options. So for example, we've got keys on and chords on. We could select bass, arpeggio, etc. I've actually already done that on the second track. So once you're happy with these chords, what you can do is create another instance of HouseEngine. It's not going to replicate this. Even if you duplicate the track, it's not going to replicate these chords. You have to actually save the chords, which is what we're going to do now. So I'm going to save the chord progression, but actually I'm going to copy the chord progression to clipboard. This is a different instance of HouseEngine. I'm going to load the chord progression from clipboard. And as you can see straight away, it has that chord progression, which is really useful. I would have liked to have duplicate function. So if I already have the chords in one track, you just duplicate them and they're just in the next track, but that's just not how it works at the moment. So once you've added your chords in the second track, you can start messing around with different instruments and categories. So what I've done here is I've selected bass. There's all these different types of bass options you have. I only have a few options because I'm in demo, but I just want you to hear how this one here sounds. So let's just press the space key. Now, if I was going to press the other ones, they will, let's just listen to the other ones. Now, obviously, if I select minimalistic, I'll get these different playing styles. But we're going to just stick to the first one that I had, which is this one. You can actually increase or decrease the octave. And I just put a bit of swing on that. And that's pretty much as basic as it gets, really. And if you just put the two sounds together, you have to start again from the beginning for them to sync up, which is fine. That's kind of a way you can audition them to see if they sound good. I then created a third HouseEngine track, and this one has strings on it. And I selected these high strings, 12. Now let's listen to the first 3 tracks together. And on this track here, we've got this minimalistic stab sound. So we'll listen to them all together. And we'll just introduce a drum loop, which I added a bit earlier. And the kick drum, which is going to come in a second. Now, because the entire thing is basically in E minor, what that does is makes it really easy to go in and get a sample, say a guitar sample, and just add that in. Or I could try a different one, so we'll just try this one. The actual sounds from the HouseEngine isn't too bad, but because I have a demo version, I can't export any of the MIDI. So if I try doing that here, I will get an error message. So you need to upgrade to get export of MIDI. Being a sneaky chap that I am, what I have done is I've just taken each track. So for example, HouseEngine on the first track, and I've already, as you can see, I've already done this. Just make sure that each track has an instance of HouseEngine on it, and each track is armed for recording. Let's go. Clean those up a bit. Voila, you have MIDI. Probably not the thing that the creators of FeelYourSound wanted, is this sort of export of MIDI. But as I said, this is kind of a workaround, and really it's still worth upgrading because the actual system itself isn't too expensive. I think it's like $40 or $45, and Black Friday is around the corner, so you might be able to get it even cheaper than that. Now, in terms of Get HouseEngine, now the website says it costs €46 or $46. Interestingly, the HouseEngine Pro is a lot more expensive, probably more suited to businesses, I would imagine. Because the difference between the two is mass exports of hundreds of MIDI files to a folder and license to sell exported MIDI files to other people. So I would imagine people might be using this to create MIDI packs. That is pretty much it. So the FeelYourSound website has all the plugins. It's got the chill out engine, the HouseEngine. It has other different types of products, which I might check out. If you want a comparison with Scalar, actually they're very similarly priced, and Scalar has a ton more functionality. If you were going to choose the two, I would choose Scalar. But if you are a artist or a DJ who just makes house music, you don't care about any other genres or any other chord writing techniques, this is probably better because it is just so focused on that genre. So that's it for me. If you've got any questions about this demo, I will be very happy to try and help. So until next time, thank you. Let's check out the song again.